I remember my father's words, how they rang in my ears as we left Castrum Abania behind and looked out over the locks before us. Comrades brave and true, they had come from all across Eorzea to stand with us, to stand against oppression and tyranny. 20 years the Empire had ruled us, but no longer. Liberty or death. Liberty or death.
It is time to talk strategy. With the United Eorzean Alliance, we see Kane Senna, Merlweb, Imric, and Lucia for the first time in a while. Rhalgar is leading the meeting. Before we start, he'd like to thank us for taking part in this endeavor. The Garleans are content with staying within the walls of their city, waiting for our inevitable siege. We are not sure of Zenos' intentions, but we cannot trust his words. It would be best to push quickly, so they don't have the chance to bolster their forces. A long drawn-out battle would not be good for the civilians nearby. That is why Rhalgar proposes that we commit to an all-out assault. We are all in agreement with his proposal. Now it is time to explain how we'll do it. The Immortal Flames will form a vanguard, supported by the archers and conjurers of the Twin Adder, who are under Kane Senna's command. Once they have cleared a path forward, they will bring in the artillery of both the Maelstrom and the Temple Knights to have their cannons hit the gate and punch a hole right through their defenses. As for the resistance, they will occupy the residential district and keep civilians out of the way. There are 2 entrances to the city. If all goes to plan, we will have secured both of them. Once both are done, we will push into the palace and hunt down Zenos. As for the Scions, our primary concern will be rescuing Krile. Once we have succeeded, they will find something for us to do. Rhalgar's beacon nears its end. Soon, Ala Mhigo will be ours once more. We do not know of Krile's whereabouts until Thancred tells us what he learned, that she is being held in the residential district within the ruins of the Temple of the Fist of Rhalgar. The Imperials have constructed a research facility, one that is capable of imbuing Garleans with the power to manipulate Aether. A man named Whiskar tells us that we can enter Ala Mhigo through Loch Seld, which has a tunnel that is locked by a key. His grandfather owns said key. We speak to the grandfather and get the key from him. Before we enter the waterway, Urianger catches up to us and delivers us an etheric siphon. It uses Moen Breeder's model as a basis, but he improved it. Using it should make us able to defeat Fordola. With the etheric siphon in hand, we swim through the waterway and use the key to get past the door. We run through the Imperial Research Facility, but are stopped by Fordola. With the use of Urianger's new and improved etheric siphon, we are able to overload Fordola's senses, which slows her down, and in the end, grants us a victory. Fordola is unable to battle any longer. She doesn't want to lose. She cannot afford to lose here. Without the Resonant, she is nothing. She should be killed for the atrocity she committed. But in the Ala Mhigo Lys wants to build, she wants to make it a place that even Fordola might be given a chance to live. Fordola scoffs at her remarks, claiming that they are fighting for freedom, charging towards Lys. She parries her attacks and sends Fordola cascading along the floor. She's a slave to a tyrant. There's no freedom in that. With no guards remaining, we free Krile from where she was being contained. She is finally free, but we do not have time to idle. We should rejoin the main force as quickly as possible. Lys captures Fordola and wants to take her back alive. Again, Fordola mocks us for thinking that we've won. Zenos has the power to rival the Icons, and we came to the hunt willingly. You and your friends are dead. Hearing that, Lys almost snaps, but she controls her anger. Fordola doesn't get the easy way out. She must live and see us bring Ala Mhigo's freedom. Then may she live for 1,000 years. We have secured the Ala Mhigan residential district, freed our comrade Krile, and delivered Fordola as a prisoner. Now it is time to speak with Rhalgar to discuss what Fordola meant by Zenos' power that's alike to the Icons. She could be speaking of Omega. Its location is unknown, and it would explain why they sit in their walls, desperately trying to repair it. Krile has some insight she can offer. As she was in the research facility, She has a few moments where she can remember things clearly. It enhances her being into becoming the Resonant. It imbues a subject with the qualities of an individual with magical aptitude. They extract some sort of primordial essence and place it into the user, which is why Fordola was so strong out of nowhere. Without Urianger J's siphon, we couldn't have beaten her. Speak of the devil, he joins the conversation from out of nowhere. The way Alisaie described Fordola's movements, it was as if she could predict where her attacks were going to go before they happened. She had never fought with Alisaie before, so how could she predict an unknown opponent's moves? That is where he assumed that she was able to instinctively react to the fluctuations of an individual's aether. In other words, she was in tune with Alisaie's soul. This description is very similar to how the Echo works. That is what Urianger J surmised, and that is how he came up with the siphon. To fire a large amount of aether towards her would give her aether sickness. Honestly, this news is quite dire. This means that the Garleans are capable of creating an artificial echo in people. Zenos must have undergone this treatment, and who knows what else he'll have in store. No matter his power, we only have one path in front of us, to take back Ala Mhigo. We are prepared to win. Victory is as good as ours. We have regrouped with the main unit. Everyone is preparing to storm Ala Mhigo's gates. The thaumaturges are standing by. Men are surrounding cannons that are fully loaded and prepared for an onslaught. The first to attack the gate are the thaumaturges. They raise a fire spell into the sky, which shoots an unending trail of fireballs. The door is being superheated. Then the second group of thaumaturges use an ice attack, which freezes the superheated door, making it weak and brittle. Now comes the cannon fire. The relentless cannon fire berates on the gate. Everything was going smoothly, until the Imperials riding Magitech sky armor start to attack and stop our advances. We are unable to deal with the sky armor, and it starts to look bad, until we can hear a screech of a yawl. It is Lord Hien. He unsheaths his katana and strikes at the sky armor, knocking it towards the ground. Doma has come to pay her debts. Doma will deal with their flying machines. This gives us time to resume the cannon fire. It is a non-stop barrage from all sides, until eventually the door gives in and cracks open ever so slightly, giving us enough room to get in. Now begins the battle for the future of a nation. Together with the brave men of the Eorzea Alliance and the Resistance, we must enter the city and make way for the castle where Zenos, yea Galvus, resides, and put an end to his reign of terror. Liberty or death. We push our way through Ala Mhigo until we reach Zenos in the royal chamber. For everything he has done, to the people of Rhalgar's Reach, Mefarid, Y'shtola, Krile, everyone, we will make him pay. Two times have we fallen to his mighty power, but this time it is different. We were able to fight Zenos and come out victorious. He falters and withdraws, bursting out in maniacal laughter. He has waited for this moment and is excited for what's to come. Finally, we prove ourselves worthy prey for the hunt. This is the beast he has longed to face. As we sharpened our claws, he too sought newfound strength. But this is no place for a final contest. Come, the heavens shall bear witness to our dance. We follow Zenos to the royal menagerie and see that he has captured Shinryu, a fitting specimen for the menagerie. Shinryu is an embodiment of unbridled despair, born of Ilbud's desire for the Empire's destruction. It is a being of pure violence. Maybe we orchestrated everything. We saw Ilbud fall to his death. We watched as the icon fell from the sky after the battle with Omega, which put it into Zenos' hands. If he were to stand aside, what would we do to this icon? Kill it. We are the icon slayer. Such certainty is to be expected. There is another alternative. If we had only mastered our abilities. The Echo keeps us immune of iconic tempering. But does that not mean that our influence is greater than theirs? That is where he saw the potential of the Echo, and how it could be used to bind an icon to one's will, which is why he researched the Resonant. All icons must be exterminated, an imperial mandate issued by his great-grandfather after he saw the destruction brought by one. He feared the icons and feared their power. They fought for cowardice. Man should fight for the joy of it, to live, to eat, to breed. Only man has the wisdom and clarity to embrace violence for its own sake. For we who are born into this merciless, meaningless world have but one candle of life to burn. He knows we understand this, for we are the same. Together, we could while away the quiet hours as friend and confidant, if we accept him. We deny him. Yet by denying him, we prove him right. We are warriors. It was plain from the first moment we met how this would end. We live for these moments when all hangs in the balance, when the difference between life and death is but a single stroke. He lives for them too. This is who we are, my friend. This is all we are. Ala Mhigo and Doma and Garlemald be damned. He severs the binds containing Shinryu. The barrier falls as Shinryu wakes up. He immediately attempts to temper both of us, but it fails. We tower above the gods, you by your gift, and I by my might. And before the Resonant, the gods shall be made to kneel. A dark aura surrounds Zenos, which then surrounds Shinryu. It riles in pain as Zenos ascends upwards. A bright light blinds our vision, and Zenos' physical form is gone. Then Shinryu speaks, in Zenos' voice, mimicking Ul'dah's final words. An ending, to mark a new beginning. He has fused with Shinryu and become one with him. He flies towards a platform on the other side of the menagerie, and we give chase. As we run across a one-way bridge, Zenos destroys our way out, leaving us with only one option: to fight. To fight the combined might of both Zenos and Shinryu. To fight the Wyrm of despair brought about by Ul'dah's grief and vengeance. To fight so that the dawn's light may reach all of the realm. To fight. Shinryu is a being of unparalleled strength, for its strength rivals even the Black Wyrm of the Calamity in its prime. Still, we cannot afford to lose here. The Icon cannot win against the Icon Slayer, and it falls to our might. Shinryu's physical form is no more. From his form, Zenos falls towards the ground. As he collides with the floor, he scatters the nearby petals everywhere. Alphinaud and Lys arrive to the scene. Zenos was utterly defeated. He slowly works his way up to his feet. Blood spurts from his mouth and runs down his chin. The hunter has become the hunted. Even in his defeat, there is only transcendent joy. Did he do all of this just so he could feel something? Men die so that others may be stronger for it. Not that any of us could understand that we stood on his grand stage of fools and played our parts perfectly. Oh, this moment, let it be enshrined in eternity, his heart beating out of time. So clear, so vivid, so real. He takes his blade and places it on his neck. Alphinaud calls him a coward. Lys dashes forward trying to stop him from ending himself. In his final moments, he looks towards us, saying farewell to his first friend, his enemy. He then uses the blade to end his life, so that he could forever be in this moment where he was the happiest. Rhalgar and the others only now arrived to ask where Zenos is, to which Alphinaud replies that he is dead, by his own hand. There was no justice in his end. We didn't get to hold him accountable for all the lives he took. But we won, and the living have need of us now. It is time for Lys to stand tall and raise a cheer for all of those who have fought for freedom, a cheer loud enough to carry it to the highest heavens. She agrees with Hien's words. She thanks us for what we did. Let us cheer together for Ala Mhigo. Arenvald and Whiskar notice Zenos' dead body and blow a horn to announce that victory is ours. The roaring crowd below us can be heard from all the way up here. The resistance soldiers salute us as we walk through the menagerie, colliding with all of our allies who have helped us to get where we are today. Thancred, Ugiri, Imric, Kane Senna, Merylweb, Rhalgar, Pippin, Hien, and many more that there honestly isn't enough time to mention them. We go towards the edge of the menagerie, which overlooks the living quarters. We can see hundreds of people cheering. To mimic the scene seen earlier with the Imperials singing their modified version of the Ala Mhigo national anthem, the Ala Mhigans raise their voices in song to sing the original as all of our comrades stand behind us, waving the Resistance's flag. Victory is ours. At last, Ala Mhigo is free.
But what is freedom, really? We may be free to live, to love, to grow old, to have dreams and desires, and to strive for them. But in the end, we're defined by the legacy our forefathers bequeathed to us. Even Zenos was once a baby in the cradle, innocent and pure. He was made into a creature that lived only for death, not born one. 20 years of Imperial rule have left Ala Mhigo torn and bleeding. It won't be easy to heal a generation's worth of wounds, to bridge the gap. But I won't give up, Papalimo. I won't. Because I remember the price of freedom. I remember the smoke, and the ashes, and the blood. I remember the screams, and the silence. And I'll do whatever it takes to honor their sacrifice, to build a home for us all. I promise you. This is the end. The end of the Imperial province of Ala Mhigo, and the rebirth of Ala Mhigo, the free nation. Long may she endure.
In the royal menagerie, we see Estinian, where Zenos was defeated. In the flower bed lies Nidhogg's eyes, yet they are completely drained of aether. He takes his spear and pierces each eye individually. Now his eyes are truly gone forever, and Nidhogg's hateful legacy is finally at an end. In Garlemald, we see Varys Zos Galvus, the father of Zenos. He has received the news of his son's passing, but seems unfazed by it. He is comforted by Elidibus. He was his son and heir, and an irreplaceable test subject. He knew what he was. That monster was not made for thrones, nor are stars made to sustain false gods. Should you raise your hand against my black-robed brethren, I will not stop you, for our desires are one and the same. Preservation, restoration. Varys continues his sentence for him. Compression, resurrection, all in service to restore their one true God. When the star is made whole, will there be a place for us mere mortals? Question their motives if you will, but they'll come to understand him in time. Maybe until then, he'll find this reassuring. Elidibus walks in front of Varys and takes off his mask. We do not get to see his face, but Varys is offended upon seeing it. Lys wanted to speak to all of the scions in Rhalgar's Reach. For the first time since we started this endeavor, all of the scions are gathered in one place, even Y'shtola, who was out of commission since the very beginning. All of the scions listen to her words. She is grateful for everything we've done for her and her people. She knows that we don't want to hear that. We fought because we wanted to help, because we are scions. Lys is also a scion, but Conrad left her in charge here, which means she has new responsibilities here in Ala Mhigo. As long as she has to serve Ala Mhigo, She can't be a scion. That is her decision. We kind of had an idea that she may be doing this. Still, scions or not, we are comrades, now and forever. Is that not so? We are in agreement with your Stoller's words. And there you have it. Whatever happens, she can count on us in her hour of need. We will never refuse her. Upon hearing that, Lys gets a little emotional and starts crying. No matter what Lys's path is, we shall always support her. There is an unknown shore with waves going to and fro. A man is using a sheath of his katana to catch fish. It's Gosetsu. Somehow he survived the bout at Doma Castle. He has created a fire. Next to that fire is a sleeping Yotsuyu. Her condition is unclear, but Gosetsu is keeping her alive. A gigantic pool of condensed aether lies in the yawn. Cid is overlooking the crater and surmises that it was created by Omega. They made this mess, so it falls to them to clean it up. It won't be easy, but when has it ever been? Jesse, Cid's second in command, talks about the loss of profit that comes from Cid diverting all of the company resources into this pet project of his. He tries to explain that there may be some benefit to giving their people the opportunity to study such advanced technology, but she interrupts him, saying do they get to do that before or after he blows it up, or seals it away? The moment she judges this task an unsustainable risk to the ironworks, she will end it, okay? Cid nods in agreement. And to keep him honest, using the authority as deputy president, she has brought in a consultant, a master engineer, a mechanical genius. He nods. Then what she said actually registers in his mind. You didn't. To Cid's dismay, the deputy president has invited Nero Tol Skaver to join the Garland Ironworks as an official member. So fell the hunter, but what of the hound? So rose the children, but what of the father?